What's up? This your boy Fast checking in with you with another one. I'd like to give a shout out to TP Hill 1, Sean Gunner 95, 79 1, Jason Beads 44 5, David, Mr. You Don't Know Me, and With or Without Parole. I'd like to give a shout out to y'all guys today. Thanks. Visitation is a privilege in prison, and that determines on how you move up in there because they could put you behind the glass or you could be out there with the contact people. It just depends on how you moved up in there. I mean, if you get in a fight or get caught with drugs or anything like that, they're going to put you behind the glass. But if you just get like work performance or argument or something like that, disrespect or things, small things like that, like class 2 write-ups, you don't get no contact. You get contact visits. So like I said, being in there is like a prison. But the happiest thing up in there, I'm telling you, man, every inmate goes through it. The first time that they get a visit, or maybe all the times that they get a visit. But as soon as you get in there, you see them people. I mean, your heart's already beating. Your palms are sweaty. Boom, you get over there to the table with them. You sit down. Boom, it's just like a vibe that you just can't. It really experienced, and I bet you every inmate that went through it, was happy as a motherfucker. But I remember this time I was at Ellsworth Correctional Facility, in the medium. It was this dude named Ron. Now, Ron, he was real black as a motherfucker, had some yellow eyes and stuff. I don't know if he had jaundice or anything like that, but shit, he had yellow-ass eyes. I ain't never seen him over at the medical clinic or anything. But yeah, he was kind of buff, he ate a lot, and he worked in the kitchen. So, I already know how people is when they work in the kitchen. But yeah, I get up in the morning, and when I get up, I miss breakfast because I guess I didn't want to go because today's Saturday and I knew it was hamburger day, and I get like 3 or 4 hamburgers, today. So I get up, and when I get up, my homeboy down on the bottom bunk, his name is P. Now, P, I call him Pistol, but, people call him P because they don't really like using that word at times and stuff. So, he get up, he's like, hey, man, how many burgers you got today? And I said, shit, I got like 3 of them. He was like, shit, I got 2 of them. He was like, shit, bro, we gonna eat tonight? And I was like, yeah, shit, like we normally do, because every week I get some burgers and stuff because I'm hustling at this time. So I get up, use the bathroom, brush my teeth, boom, go outside. And now when I go down in the day room is packed as a motherfucker because, like I said, everybody kind of lining up, getting ready for hamburger day, like probably about an hour, So they want to make sure that they get out the door before everybody so that when they get down there, they ain't got to run out because, like, on Saturdays on hamburger day, shit, everything runs out. So I'm down there sitting, waiting because somebody's on the phone because I got to call my grandma because she just had surgery, probably about 3 weeks before, on her eyes. So I was like, all right, I'm going to call her today. So I'm sitting down there waiting in the day room, sitting there. And when I'm sitting there, that's when Ron come in there and he's looking at me. And when he's looking at me, I think I ain't know he was going to come up on me, but, the way that he's looking at me. So I turned my head back like that, looking, see if anybody was behind me, but wasn't nobody behind me. So when I looked back up, I seen him over there walking. So he was like, hey, he needed one of them cigarettes. And I was like, all right. I was like, but shit, let me get this phone because I don't want to go up there and give you a cigarette and then come back and miss my phone opportunity. I got to wait back in line. So she was like, all right. So he gets up and go to his cell. Boom. About 15 minutes later, that's when I get the phone. So when I call my grandma, I'm like, shit, what's going on? How you doing? She was like, I'm doing all right. I'm seeing a little better, as days go on. I was like, okay. And she was like, how you been doing? I've been telling her I've been doing all right. She's like, everything went all right with you and old boy and stuff like that? Because that's when me and Barry kind of got into it, So y'all might want to check out that video on that, Penitentiary Dope Boy. So we on the phone talking, and she was like, well, I want to come down there and see you, but I ain't got nobody to bring me. She said, your uncle, he used to, come down there, but he don't like coming down there because, like, we be in there a long time and he ain't got nothing to do in that little small town. So he basically don't want to come down there like that no more. So I was like, all right, I said, don't even worry about it. We'll figure something out, as time goes on. She was like, okay, I just really want to see you. And I was like, all right, I want to see you too. I told her I love her. We hung up. Boom, I go back upstairs, get the thing, from Ron, take it around into his room. I knock on the door, boom, 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 boom. He opened the door, he got this letter and this picture in his hand. And I give him a little cigarette, he sit down and he get the light fired up, boom. Now he's going in on it. He's sitting there with this letter and this picture in his hand. He's looking and he's talking and stuff. He was like, how your grandma been doing? I was like, oh, she's all right, man. She says she's seeing better and things is like getting basically good for her. So me and him talking and stuff, and while we talking, I'm looking at him with this letter and this picture, and I was like, what's that right there? He's like, oh, that's my little boy, and my girl. He said, I just got a letter from him, yesterday, and I'm just probably reading it 20, 30 times, before I actually put it up. I was like, oh, okay, So I get up, boom. I ain't really say nothing too much to him about anything. I get up, walk out the room, back down to my room. Probably about, like I said, 30 minutes later, they call child. So I come back, go out, hurry and run so I can get in the crowd with everybody down there running. So boom, I go to the child, get my little burger and stuff. Boom, I come back, still feeling good. Me and P, we down there talking, what we gonna do today. He was like, shit, you going to the yard at 1? I was like, shit, I don't know, man. I'll probably fall out there for a minute, walk the track, do something like that. I ain't gonna do nothing major or nothing like that. Go out there and look for people or anything. I'm just gonna be myself when I go out there. So boom, yard time come. I go out to the yard. Like I said, I get on the track. I'm walking the track. I did probably about 3 laps, So when I get back around to where the baseball diamonds and everything is at, the weight pit and basically where everybody's at, that's when Ron come out. He's like, what you been doing, man? Boom, I was like, shit, nothing, man, just walking this track as usual. He was like, all right, he said, think I can walk with you? And I was like, shit, that's cool, man, I can, we can do a couple laps together before they call the first call back in. So we walk in the track, Boom, I was like, shit. He was like, shit, you talk to your grandma? And I was like, yeah. I said, shit, she just, trying to get herself together and stuff like that. And he was like, shit, that's real. I was like, shit, but she probably ain't gonna be able to come up here for a while because she ain't got nobody to drive her up here, And he was like, oh, for real? She ain't got nobody like that. And I was like, nah. I said, she my uncle, So we walking the track, chilling, talking, boom. Yard call come on, I get up, I go back in. Boom, I'm sitting there talking to P, I was like, shit, man, basically telling him the same story, how my grandma ain't gonna be able to come up here for a minute. We just talking, just making conversation. That's something new to the sale, so I'm talking about that, Just like when something new come with him, he probably talk to me about it. Some stuff we don't talk about, some stuff we do talk about. So we sitting there talking, and then, boom, that's when Ron come knock on the door again, boom, 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 boom. I'm like, who is it? He was like, Ron. I was like, shit, what do you want? I already gave him a cigarette. Because he don't buy cigarettes 2 or 3 times, in a day and things like that. But I guess today he wanted, when he came in, I guess he wanted P to hook him up with something. Because I didn't have, what he wanted. I didn't do none of that stuff. So they hooked him up. I don't know what it was or whatever, because I wasn't all in P's business like that when it came to certain things. But I knew that he was doing some other stuff. It could have been some of that Ready Rock or whatever, or some of that, fish scale. That's what we call it down there in Kansas. It could have been some of that stuff, but I don't think that Ron got down like that. So it was probably he was getting it for somebody else or whatever to give it to him. So they end up handling their business because I walked out the cell, and when I walked out, while they was doing what they was doing, You know, I just sit down in the day room. The day room's still loud, you know what I'm saying? Because everybody's still dealing and trading on the burgers and stuff like that. I mean, shit, on Burger Day, shit, everybody got some type of hands or something. I mean, that stuff comes through like, shit, like a McDonald's drive-through at the penitentiary, you know. Shit, once the motherfuckers come out that kitchen with them burgers, shit, it's on up in there. So it's kind of loud up in there. And I'm peeping out everything. You know, ain't nothing shaking. Everybody just enjoying themselves. So I go back up in the cell, you know, after I see Ron leave out, you know. And, you know, when I get back up in there, I asked P, I was like, shit, man, what's going on with him? He was like, nah, nothing. He just needed, you know, me to give him some stamps and stuff like that. And I was like, some stamps? He was like, yeah, because he wanted to send his girl, you know, a letter, but it's going to be kind of thick. And I was like, shit, thick. So he's like, shit, man, you know, he just needed some stamps and stuff. And I was like, all right, man, you know, I ain't really peeped the story out. I ain't really, like I said, I ain't really know how they were actually moved or anything like that. But if he said he needed some stamps, I mean, he needed some stamps. That's the story that he said. So I jumped back on top of my bunk, lay down for a minute, boom. On store day, which was Thursday, this is, like I said, this happened on Saturday. So Thursday come, boom. So on store day, like I said, it's a real good day up in there, you know what I'm saying, on store day. So I get my store and I'm going, like I said, I go to the store and get it. And now when I come back, you know, when I'm walking back up the stairs, that's when Ron was like, hey man, you know, let me holler at you. So I was like, shit, what's going on, man? You know, I was like, shit, you know, we can't be out here in this day room, you know what I'm saying, like this with our bags, you know, with all our storing it so everybody can peep out what we got. We got to hurry up and get this stuff back up and said. He was like, yeah, but I need to talk to you about something. I was like, shit, I'll just holler at you just here in a minute. I come down there and holler at you, you know, maybe smoke one with you or something like that. He was like, all right, cool. So I get down, take my bags, you know, back to my cell, put all my little store up. I mean, I roll up one of them things, boom. I said, I'm going to go around here and holler at him, see what's going on with him. He was like, shit, when I get around there, I sit on the toilet, you know, boom, he's sitting on the bed. He still got a letter in his hand, you know what I'm saying? Like Public Enemy. I got a letter from the government. The other day, I opened and read it and said it was for suckers. You know, that's what, when I'm looking at that shit, that's what I'm thinking, you know, because that was probably popping in a few years, you know what I'm saying, before I did my thing. So I'm looking at this letter, you know, and him talking. He's like, hey, man, you know, I got a girl that lives in the same city as your grandma. And now, Ron, he from Kansas City. That's where I'm from, Kansas City too. But I ain't never known him, you know, or seen him in Kansas City because Kansas City's kind of big. So I ain't never bumped into him or anything like that. But yeah, he was like, yeah, man, you know, I know you told me when I was out there on the yard that your grandma probably needed a ride. And I was like, oh, okay. So now when he starts saying that, you know, I'm starting to pull my head back while I'm smoking the thing, and I'm popping it between my legs right there in the toilets, you know, while I'm talking to him. He was like, yeah, but my girl, she ain't got nobody or no car or nothing like that to come down here and see me. You think that you can have, if since your grandma wants somebody to drive her, that she can drive your grandma down here? And I was like, shit, I don't know, man. You know, I got to really check that shit out, you know, because shit, my grandma, she's to the point. I mean, she's real strict when it comes to things. And she had a lot of game, and she used to tell me and stuff like that growing up. So I was like, shit, I don't know, man. I can see what's up, you know. But if that do happen to happen, you know, y'all gonna have to, you know, at least come off some gas money or something to get down there. And he was like, shit, I mean, I can see what she can do. I was like, shit, ain't no saying what you can do because you playing with my grandma now, you know. Shit, my grandma needs some gas or whatever to get down here to see us. Shit, you gonna have to, you know, make sure that you got that shit on point soon as you get in the car. He was like, all right, man, you know, I can see what's up. And I was like, shit, you gonna have to, you know. So I wasn't trying to come at him, you know, kind of sideways or nothing like that. I just wanted to make sure that when he's dealing with my grandma, when I go talk to her and call her and tell her, what the situation was going on, that everything was going to be cool. So he was like, shit, all right. And I got up and I walked up out there, left him, the shorts of it. Boom, I come up out there. I go back to my room, make my little dinner because it was store day. Boom. After that, I ate my food and stuff. The next day, Ron didn't even come over there or holler at me. He just basically I guess he was just waiting on me to come back and say something to him or what's going on. But shit, I ain't called my grandma. I was going to call her that Saturday. So then it's like Friday right now. So I said, all right, I called her tomorrow. So when I call her, on Saturday, same routine. I go down there, I wait, get on the phone. I call her. I'm like, hey, G, since she's like, you better quit playing with me like that. Don't be calling me that. Call me by my name, you know what I'm saying? And I said, you want me to call you Gladys or you want me to call you Grandma, because that was my grandma's name. So she was like, just don't call me nothing like that because I ain't no gangster. Like I said, my grandma didn't play none of this stuff like that. So when I'm talking to her, before I hung up with her, I was like, hey, this girl wants to drive down here, and if it's cool with you, she'll drive and, come down here to see me if that's all right with you. And she was like, yeah, as long as she's straight, as long as she ain't on no type of bullshit or nothing like that, I ain't worried about it. Just make sure that if she drives, she got a license, she got all her stuff together, she ain't got no warrants or nothing like that. Because she said, when I get to that place, shit, I don't want nothing, to go bad. I was like, shit, I hope nothing go bad, She was like, cause shit, if you get to them places like that, shit, they just leave you there. They don't really give a fuck about you once you leave that visiting room. They kick you off them premises like you just ain't shit. I was like, oh, for real? And she was like, yeah. She said, because I seen somebody get done like that. And I was like, shit, I hope not, So I'm talking to her and I end up hanging up. I go back up to my cell. Boom. Sunday come, I go out to the yard. So when I go out to the yard, I see Ron. He's over in the weight pit, trying to work out. His black ass, came walking over there. I was like, hey, look, my grandma said she would do it, but you got to give her at least $75 for gas in order for you to get down there and come back. Because I got to drive like 3.5 hours. And you give her $75 for going, and she'll do it for the way going back. And he was like, okay, I'll go holler at my girl and see what's up. So when he said that, he go over, because they got pay phones on the yard, he go over there and get on the phone over there. So then, like a few minutes later, when I'm walking the track, I come back around, he come back over there, she was like, yeah, that's cool, she'll do it. And I was like, all right, and she was like, I'll give you the address and all that stuff when we get back in the pod, And I was like, all right. So when we get back in there, he come around to my room, give me the address, Boom, I said, I'm going to call my grandma, probably tomorrow. That way, I can make sure that she got the address and the phone number to where they can kind of communicate, saying real fast. So the next day, I go down there, I call her, I give her the number, and she's like, she gonna call her, okay? And I was like, all right, I'll talk to you Saturday soon, boom. After that, like I said, just normal days after normal days after normal days. I had to wait till Saturday before I talked to my grandma. So I'm seeing Ron. Now he's at the table sitting down with me like we just cool, But like I said, I kind of knew him, but I ain't know him like that. He just knew me because everybody called me Kansas City at this time, So they kind of knew, my name, what they used to call me. So I'm seeing him, we sitting down, eating and things like that. It was kind of like a little crazy situation going on between me and him. So I called my grandma on Saturday. I said, you talked to her, so I can go back and tell him what's up. She was like, yeah, I talked to her. We supposed to be, going back next week, so just expect me next week and I won't talk to you again until then. And I was like, all right, boom, I hang up, I mean, we talked about other stuff too, saying about her eye and things like that, but that's just, how we was just talking then. So then, boom, I get out the phone, hang up, I go back up to my room. When I get up to my room, like I said, I roll up one of the things again. Boom, I go back down there. I'm going to go holler at him and see what's up. Get down there, boom, knock on the door. Doom, 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 doom. Didn't nobody answer. So I'm like, shit, he must be at work or something, or his celly must be sleeping. Because somebody ain't answering the door. So I back away, boom, go back up to my cell, boom. Like probably about 20 minutes later, somebody come and knock at my cell. Boom. I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, it's Ron, man, I was like, what's up, man? I said, come on in. He came on in. He opened the door, came on in. Boom. Now me and him standing up because when he came in, I jumped off the bed. You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I was on the top bunk. I jump off the top bunk. And when I'm like facing him now, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, shit, man, I just came down there and knocked at your door, man, but you didn't answer. And he was like, yeah, I was in there, man. I was in there thinking, man, about my girl and stuff like that. I was like, you was thinking? I said, okay, you was thinking that much, And he was like, yeah, man, I was just down there really just thinking about her, you know what I'm saying, her and the kids and stuff. And I was like, oh, okay. So I tell him, I was like, hey, my grandma said she would do it, as long as I got the money and everything is cool. So she gave her the address and she's supposed to be coming next week, I was like, your visitation, all that stuff is straight. He's like, yeah, I did that when I first came in. I got everything, in order. I was like, oh, okay, you know what I'm saying? Shit, that's cool. So I was like, just make sure that she don't come in here with no type of crazy shit because my grandma, like I said, she don't want no bullshit, don't be trying to bring in no type of contraband or nothing like that, If you need to do some type of business or you think that you need to do something, just holler at me and I can guide you to the right people that can make sure that things is right. And he looked at me, he was like, shit, man, you can't, really tell me what not to bring and whatever. I was like, shit, yeah, I can. Don't be bringing no type of contraband, with my grandma riding with her in the car and stuff like that. I said, I don't care if it's some motherfucker, just some tobacco. Don't be bringing that shit, in my grandma's car. So he was like, all right, man, I ain't gonna be doing nothing like that. I said, shit, you better not be doing nothing like that because shit, nigga, you get straight DB for that shit right there, playing with the people. So he leave out the room, boom, go back, do his thing. So now we just waiting on my grandma to come with him and his girl. So the days go by, like I said, normal. He's still eating with me, He ain't really talking about his girl or anything like that, but you can see that he's kind of happy as the days go down. And then he was like on Friday, he was like, shit, man, tomorrow's the day, man, while we sitting down in the child hall eating. And I'm looking at him like, shit, yeah, it's tomorrow's the day, but shit, you better hope that it be a good day because shit, I hope no faulty shit. You ain't doing no faulty ass shit. So, boom. On visitation day, I get up early, make sure that I'm already cleaned up, put my smell good on so my grandma can smell me, you know what I'm saying? I went to the barber shop on that Thursday store day. So everything was already on point when I come up in there. Like I said, when you come in there, shit, it be like, shit, joy to the world. So me and Ron come in there. When Ron come in there, he see his kids. They take off running to him. I'm looking at them. I ain't got no kids at this time. So I'm looking at him with his kids and stuff. I'm like, shit, that nigga really enjoying himself, because they over there looking like they a good-ass couple. So I'm like, shit, everything look like it's going to be good. So when I sit down, I'm talking to my grandma. My grandma got my stuff already ready on the table. So I'm like, shit, just all I got to do is just, like I said, just eat. So I'm eating and stuff. And so, the visit went good, Boom, boom, we leave out. You can tell that they didn't want to kind of leave and stuff. So I was like, all right, that's cool, So I was like, I'm going to call you Wednesday. You know what I'm saying? She was like, all right, I'll talk to you then. So I give her a hug. Boom. She walk out, I walk out. Boom. We get back, as we going back, we sitting there talking, me and Ron talking, he happy as a motherfucker. He's like, man, thanks, man, what I'm saying, for what you did, man. I was like, shit, I appreciate it, man, it's all good, man, just, like I said, just don't be doing no crazy ass shit. He was like, man, Fatsman, I ain't gonna be doing nothing like that, man, I ain't gonna be, trying to, bring nothing up here with my girl or nothing like that. And I was like, all right. So, we get back to the sale house, boom. Like I said, still sitting with me throughout the day. He coming up there every once in a while and get a little cigarette. And I give him his little light and stuff. Boom. Wednesday come, and when I'm talking to my grandma like, babe, she was like, shit, I don't know what just went on just when she got back in town, but some faulty. I don't think something wasn't right. I said, what you mean? She was like, because she didn't take me back, to her house or nothing like that, or take me back or anything like that. She said, yeah, she took me to the house, but she had somebody meet her at the house. Some dude picked her up, and I was like, some dude? And she was like, yeah, some dude picked her up. And I was like, shit, that could have been her brother or something like that. My grandma was like, nah, that wasn't her brother, the way she was moving, and stuff, and the way that they hugged when they got in the car. And I was like, shit, grandma, maybe you just seen something that, and she was like, boy, I seen so much stuff, you don't never know what I don't seen. I don't seen so much, I've been through so much. And like I said, my grandma, she was always on that stuff. So I was like, all right. Boom. So, like I said, I see him again, since she said, well, I'll be down there Saturday, And I was like, all right. So then Saturday come again. Boom. So this time, while they over there, like I said, they enjoying their stuff, I'm sitting there talking to my grandma, and she was like, look at them. But I couldn't just turn my head and look around like that. I had to, play it out, like get up, go to the vending machine and look. And when I looked, I didn't see nothing. So I wasn't even really worried about it. So I sat back down. I said, I ain't seen nothing. And she was like, you don't see them over there, the way that they kind of arguing and stuff? And I was like, nah, I don't see that, And then a few minutes later, she said, you need to sit over here on the side versus having your back to the other side right there. Because, you can sit. You just can't sit. Like, basically, you can move over to the other side of the seat right there. So I sat on the other side right there with her so I can kind of look and stuff. So then, like, probably about 10 minutes later, that's when the police came and said that I had to scoot back over, that we couldn't have close contact like that. We had to sit back around. So I was like, all right. So I get back around now, and I can't, like I said, I couldn't see nothing. So I get up, visitation's over, my grandma leave, boom. Like I said, me and Ron walking back to the cell house, we talking. I was like, shit, everything's all right, He was like, yeah, everything's all right. We just had a little disagreement, And I was like, oh, okay, y'all had a little disagreement, what I'm saying? But I ain't really try to get in his business or nothing like that. But I kind of wanted to know because I wanted to make sure that it wasn't no faulty ass shit. So as we talking, I'm like, shit, man, shit, y'all ain't mad about no type of stuff being brought in here or anything like that. And he was like, nah, I told you, man, there ain't nothing like that, He was like, it's just, complicated right now. So I was like, all right, man. So, boom. I get back to the cell, go up there, do my thing, what I'm saying, the regular thing. Like I said, now we doing week for week, week for week. So this is like the second time, my grandma don't came and see me. So, boom. On the third time, she come and see me. She's like, shit, like I said, I know things, And I was like, shit, tell me what you know. Because I didn't call her that Wednesday or whatever because I ain't trying to, if she coming to see me, there ain't no sense in me calling. So, I'm sitting there talking to her, and I'm asking her, what I'm saying? She's like, was she a scientist or something? She was like, boy, I be investigating all type of people. She was like, when I called that girl, I could have swore I heard a dude in the background talking to her, asking her, what she wanted on her eggs, because my grandma called her early in the morning, because that way she can get dropped off at my grandma's house, and make sure that she was on point, and make sure that she leave at a certain time, because make sure that we get down to the penitentiary. So my grandma called her. I guess she was like, I told you, I heard that dude in the background asking her about them eggs, and I was like, shit, maybe, yeah, like I said, it could be her brother. I don't know. So, boom, they come in, the visitation, and the energy's kind of off. So I'm like, all right, shit, that's cool. So I'm just feeling the little vibes in there of them. I'm looking at them now because, like I said, my grandma telling me stuff, but I ain't going back and telling him, what I'm saying, anything of what she's telling me to make him flip out. So I was like, shit, I ain't going to even talk to her about that stuff. So me and him, we, like I said, we on a visit, and I'm talking to my grandma, and she was basically telling me more stuff for what she thinking, what she feel like. She a detective, and so I was like, shit, but I ain't really thinking about nothing like that. So I'm thinking about me in the penitentiary, and her eye, making sure that she's all right. But I guess she got another eye somewhere. Maybe she got a third eye or something. She's seeing something totally different. So I was like, shit, me and her just sitting there talking, laughing, giggling, making sure that everything is on point with ourselves. Then visitation over when we leave out. And when we going out, that's when Ron, he got like a little attitude or whatever. And it looked like the man was about to cry. So I was like, shit, man, what's going on with you, man? And he was like, shit, man, me and her, we guess we on kind of bad terms and stuff right now. And I was like, all right, man, shit, y'all, what y'all go, she ain't gonna come down here no more? And he was like, shit, I don't know, man. I have to, call her and see what's up. But as of right now, when she don't want to come down here, she don't want to see me no more. I was like, oh, okay, shit, that's cool. Hopefully things will be a little bit different between me and my grandma. I can hopefully find another way. I'm thinking of how I'm gonna do it. I mean, my grandma loved to come and see me, so I really couldn't, just really stop her, because every time I've been locked up, or every juvenile place I've been locked up, she always was the one coming to see me on the weekends. So she was kind of like in a routine of basically coming and seeing me. So, boom. So as we talking and stuff, I'm thinking to myself, damn, I have to come up with a plan B. Do I have to come up with a plan B? So then I come back, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, shit, I'm gonna have to call my grandma and let her know. So I'm gonna have to, on Wednesday, I'm gonna call her and tell her that she might have to postpone a little visit until like we can find somebody else. So Wednesday come, boom. I'm like, shit. I call her, just tell her what's going on. And she like, shit, all right. She said, I ain't want to be dealing with them people anyway, because like I said, I think they got something going on, but I don't know what it is. But she said, but I can see real good. And I was like, all right, grandma. So then I hung up, boom. Shit, the next day, that's when Ron come up to me. He was like, hey, man, is old girl, you still going to have your mom bring old girl up here? Because, man, I really want to see her. I was like, everything cool between you and her? And she's like, yeah, everything's cool. So then I said, I'm going to have to call her back, man. You know what I'm saying? Real quick, do a fast one. So he's like, all right. So I go back down there and call her back real quick. And I'm like, hey, he said that she can come down here if you still want to bring her down here with you. And she's like, all right, I'll do it. She said, I'll call her, and see what we can do. So boom. I don't know what my grandma, when she called her, what they said or what they talked about, but shit, I guess I don't know what it was or whatever, but I ain't talked to my grandma again until Saturday. So when Saturday come, I get in there, boom, I'm sitting at the table with her, talking to her, and I'm like, shit, I was like, shit, what's going on, And she was like, shit, she said, I had to force that girl to come down here with you to see you. And I was like, what you mean you had to force her? She said, I just basically just told her that she needed to come down here and be with him, saying, basically try to work everything out with him and stuff like that. So then I was like, oh, so you trying to be a good Samaritan? She was like, nah, I ain't trying to be a good Samaritan or nothing like that. She said, I just want to make sure that he's a good man because he looks like a good man. They look like a good family because they did look like a good ass family, until, things got kind of bad. So then I'm sitting over here, looking at my grandma like, dang, I think we done got ourselves into some more bullshit. And my grandma's like, nah, you didn't. I said, shit, because shit, if you forcing her to come down here or trying to talk to her to come down here, she might not even want to come down here. So my grandma was like, all right. So we got out the subject, started eating our little food. I went to go get some chicken tenders up there, ate them. My grandma really didn't eat no food and stuff like that. She just let me eat up everything in the commissary. So I was like, shit, all right. I ran through all that shit. So then we get up, because sometimes my grandma liked to walk, so she get up and we wanted to walk around a little day room right there. They got like a little lines to where you can walk around. Day room is like a little stroll thing, so people can talk. They ain't always got to sit. So she wanted to walk, and when we were walking, I'm sitting there. I'm like, shit. My grandma's like, she getting tired, so she hurry up and sit back down. So when she sit back down, she was like, I've been watching them two over there. And she said, that's why I wanted to walk for a second. She said, but it looked like they getting kind of irritated, with each other. And I was like, shit. Now I started looking, because at this time I wasn't really paying attention to old boy at all. So then I sit down with my grandma, and as soon as I sit down, all of a sudden you hear somebody getting slapped. Real hard. I guess she smacked him, you know what I'm saying? So when she smacked him, I hurried up and I turned around and I looked. I mean, I didn't see her actually bring her hand up. I just heard that noise, when somebody smack you. So I turned around and I looked, and that's when, Ron, he reached across the thing with his arm and he hit her, boom, and she fell back on the floor. And when she fell back on the floor, my grandma was like, hey, she getting up, like I said, my grandma was OG. She get up like a good civilian. Y'all cut that out, y'all cut that out real loud and stuff like that. But by that time, the police don't see what happened, So Ron come around from the table right there, and that's when my grandma kind of get up, and kind of went over there to try to get in between the fight. But shit, that's my grandma, so I had to get up, stop Ron, hey, hold on, nigga, slow down, slow your roll, So while he was doing that, he kicked her, he kicked that girl, and them kids looking at that shit too, They start screaming real loud and stuff like that. So the guards, like I said, they already don't seen everything happening. So they on their way, they already don't hit the button and the code and all that stuff. Boom. So, boom. After the little fight, they're saying the police come in there, they break all that shit up, real quick, got everybody out there. And then we had to close down the visit. So couldn't nobody have no visit. But the thing was my grandma didn't have no motherfucking ride back home. Cause shit, the person, cause when the police came and all that, they took all them to the front. They didn't like let her go or nothing like that, and them kids go. They took all them people to the front. And then when they would released us, out from all that shit, my grandma didn't have nobody to bring her home. She was stuck at the motherfucking jail, the prison right there. I mean, and shit, she couldn't even get no type of transportation because shit, they heard him kicked her off the grounds and all that shit. She couldn't even drive her car. Just around the corner to park it. That was crazy. So I'm sitting there thinking like, damn, man, after all this shit, I'm like, because when it was going out the door, I'm thinking to myself of how these people even got involved with each other, So I'm thinking to myself, I already know what they about to do to my grandma because, like I said, she already done told me how they work. So then I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, shit, what the fuck, what the fuck? So I go out there by myself because Ron ain't with me now, I get back to the cell house, They come in there, they unpack all this stuff, take them, I guess, I don't know where they take them or nothing like that, but I know them two wasn't in there when I left. I know the police had them both in handcuffs, and getting them up out there with them kids. So when I get back, I'm telling Pete's story, saying what happened, and he's listening like, damn, man, you know what I'm saying? Shit. Why he ain't basically tell me why I did all that stuff. He was like, damn, why do you think all that stuff happened? I don't know. I guess it probably was some of the stuff that my grandma was saying that was happening to him. And then he ended up getting caught up in some stuff. But yeah, he ended up, getting on the bad end of the stick and shit got kind of bad for him. But after a while, I start thinking, like, shit, I'm glad I ain't gonna never put myself in a situation like that, because I don't want to be placed again, going back to the visitation rooms and doing all that stuff. I'd rather be at home with my family doing the same thing that I can do in the day room, that I can do in my bedroom or whatever. But yeah, this your boy Fats with another one. Y'all stay tuned and y'all stay up.